Hi, I'm William.
I'm Mordecai.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Casey.
And we're Team Baldwin.
I'll be talking about our overview of our original strategy. As a group, we decided to do the research and development strategy where we were all in each 5 markets and we would continuously research and develop our products to stay competitive in each market. We decided over this because we felt all the other teams would push for automation, push for long-term debt, and we wanted to do something different. We probably took a more safer route, but we felt comfortable doing R&D, and we were able to stay competitive in each market. Continuing with our original strategy, we decided to pay dividends as much as we could. We decided not to take out long-term debt to increase our bond rating. We also retired stock to bring up the price, and we just wanted to do everything naturally and not rely on long-term debt or short-term loans. We just wanted to use the money that we accumulated through our profits and put that back into the company and make it more valuable. When TQM came into play, we were hesitant because to get the best benefits, it was about $1,500 in each category, which would be $12 million per round. But as we put the money into TQM, we found out that it gave great benefits in return. So we decided to max out TQM in each section over the 3 rounds to give us the best benefits, and we didn't have to invest any more money into TQM. We also decided to stay competitive in the market and get our product out there. We would invest more money than the other teams into promotion and sales. While it lowered our contribution margin in the first rounds, we saw the benefits in the latter rounds where we had about 99 to 98 accessibility and our awareness was in the upper 80s. We felt that putting the money into this was a great investment, and we were able to have a good market share in each of the 5 sections.
Over the course of the simulation, we saw 2 major negatives for our project and for our company. Our first negative would be that after each round or year, we had too much cash left on hand and we just didn't know what to do with it at that time, so we had excess amounts of cash. Our second negative was that we didn't dominate any one market throughout the whole simulation. We had a good market share of each market segmentation, but we never dominated one market. Through this CAPSIM simulation, we found out that we had many successes with our company Baldwin. To begin, we took no emergency loans throughout this whole process of the simulation rounds, after we got through those practice rounds, of course. Through those simulation rounds, we paid off all of our long-term debt after going into round 4, which means we had no long-term debt to pay off the rest of the rounds. Throughout the whole simulation, we were competitive in each market and took a good market share in all the segments. Throughout the simulation, we had 80% retained earnings. We did not have to dilute our stock by issuing more stock, and we were able to pay off dividends for the last 5 consecutive rounds, ranging from $1 to $20. Through TQM, we maximized R&D, demand, and we lowered labor and material costs, which helped us in the long run with our strategy of R&D. Throughout the simulation, we introduced 2 high-end products, Ball and Bulge. Both of the products held their own in the high-end segment, even though it was a very diluted market. Lastly, our ROA and ROE, return on assets and return on equity, were only second to Chester throughout the whole simulation, which proved to be a successful company for Baldwin.
Focusing on our last 3 years, in round 6 we started to have a slow drop in our market share because of Chester dominating most of the markets. But to compensate for that, we introduced 2 new products, Bulge and B, in round 6. We also took $10 million loan at the end of round 8 so that we could compete with Chester further down the road. Our main mode of going through for round 6 to 8 was R&D, since we had maximized our TQM, which lowered our R&D time while we didn't have a high automation rate. We also continue to have an abundance of cash extra at the end of the year, and which is why we paid out a $1.50, $2.50, and $20 dividend in round 6, 7, and 8.
When it comes to looking at our other competitors, at the beginning we found that Andrew and Chester were more of the top of the pack along with us. And then around round 4 or 5, we saw that Chester was introducing 3 new products into the making, and we saw that they were going to take quite a bit of a lead. After the new products were introduced, we saw that Andrews, Digby, and Erie were going to fall back in the pack, and that Baldwin, us, and Chester were going to lead the group. Towards the end of round 8, we saw that Chester had the highest return on equity, and we were in second place right behind them. And Chester also had the highest return on assets, and we were also in second in that category. At the end, Chester ended up sharing 35% of the market, while we were left with 16% of the market, and we were again the highest 2 in that category.
For the upcoming rounds, we're going to use the same strategy of research and development. We found that research and development was a cheaper option than automation. While we did automate a little bit in low end and the traditional end, we didn't automate it as much as it would cost more to continuously research and develop our products. R&D, we would continue just putting most of our internal cash flow into research and development so that our products could be at the top of the segment. As we introduce new products, we would ultimately have to put more money into promotion and sales. While we already invested money in the earlier rounds into promotion and sales, we were able to continuously increase accessibility and awareness. As we introduce more products, we would have to put a little bit more money into promotion and sales to keep the awareness and accessibilities for multiple products in each segment. We found out that in the latter rounds, we were reaching our capacity in the second overtime shift. So for production, we would have to buy more capacity to ensure that we can make enough products for the traditional low-end performance, size, and high-end. We would probably put about 500 more in the low-end and traditional, and about 300 to 400 in the performance, high-end, and size. By increasing capacity in each segment, we would be able to stay competitive in each segment by selling more of our products. As one of our positives, by not issuing any long-term debt, we decided for the future rounds to stay competitive in the market is to issue some long-term debt. We issued a $10 million long-term debt loan, so in the future rounds we can introduce even more products into the market. We decided to continuously pay dividends as it increases happiness with the shareholders, and they would stay loyal to our products.